Good morning, everyone. So, today I'm exploring Sinauli, a small archaeological site in western Uttar Pradesh. So, basically, I came to know about this archaeological site when I was visiting Rakhi Ghari. The guide told me that archaeologists have discovered ancient Bronze Age solid disc wheel carts in Sinauli, and always wanted to go to this particular place and explore myself. So today I'm traveling to Sinauli. Again, just to repeat, Sinauli is an archaeological site in western Uttar Pradesh. Uh, Basically, this is situated in Ganga Yamuna Doab. This site gained its attention for its Bronze Age solid disc wheel carts. Basically, the digging or archaeological excavations happened in 2018, and a lot of ancient graves and horse-pulled chariots were found. Sinauli has been identified or mapped to be a late Harappan phase or post-Harappan civilization. So, in this video, what I'll do is I will pull out a documentary which is done by one of the leading channel, which will give you the actual footage of the archaeological site, the history of the archaeological excavations which have been done, what is the story behind it, etc. So this video is for 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes, and after that I will show you all the actual site, how it looks today. So, come, let's watch the documentary and understand what is Sinauli, what the archaeological discoveries have been done.
This kind of attention in recent times. The discovery of numerous burials with weapons and chariots in 2018 created a storm as the finds here in Sinauli, about 60 kilometers from Delhi, questioned a lot of the widely held beliefs in the subcontinent's history. Dated to anywhere between 2200 and 2000 BCE, excavations here over the last 2 years have unearthed evidence of a very advanced Chalcolithic culture where there was extensive use of copper. Contemporary to the Harappan civilization, evidence in Sinauli indicates the existence of an advanced parallel culture which had sword-wielding warriors and chariots. In this year's excavations, there has been fresh evidence of a large urban setup here and an iteration of the fact that women were powerful and probably fought alongside men.
It's a female skeleton, first of all, and we found a lot of antiquities associated with this burial. One of the most interesting thing with this skeleton is that the feet are missing. So probably they have cut the feet, tied the legs together and buried. An afterlife, a ritual, they believe in afterlife, we don't know. Yes, it's very common, and it's common in contemporary Chalcolithic sites in Deccan. For instance, in Anamgaon, we found a lot of skeletons with no feet. Another important antiquity that we have is the amulet around the arm. Amulet has at present has statite bead, agate bead and jasper. Along with this, we have a miniature antenna sword made of copper, which is right next to the head, probably placed on some sort of wooden object. That's the reason why the level is a little higher. This is the second female burial with a similar miniature antenna sword. In 2018's excavation, right just towards south of this burial in a row, we found another female skeleton with a similar antenna sword. And interestingly, towards north, there is another female burial. However, there is no antenna sword there. Here we have found antiquities such as copper pots, copper channel. We have evidences of bow and bone points associated with this burial within this burial pit, probably suggesting that women were also part of warrior class. They were also involved in these activities.
Excavations in Sinauli started in 2005 when local farmers discovered copper objects when sowing the field.
ये 2005 में हम अपनी मिट्टी उठा रहे थे यहाँ से खेत से, तो फावड़े से उठाए तो यहाँ पे पोट मिलने शुरू हो गए बर्तन। मैं कभी देखे नहीं थे, अजनबी हमने देखे थे दिल्ली संग्रहालय में भी। हम तो हमने ध्यान करा ये मिलते जुलते पोट है, कहीं कामयाब पोट है ये। तो हमने मीडिया को बुलवा, उनके फ़ोटो वगैरह खिंचवाए ट्रैक्टर ट्रॉली पे मिट्टी पे। तो फिर मीडिया ने जो है पेपर में आए तो न्यूज़ वगैरह में पढ़ के पुरातत्व विभाग की जो टीम थी वो यहाँ पे आई, तो उन्होंने फिर 2005 में खुदाई की यहाँ पे।
Since then, over 125 burials have been found here. This indicates that this was a large necropolis or burial site. Last year's big discovery was that of a chariot heavily inlaid with copper work. What made this truly interesting was what came with it. A yoke that showed it was probably a horse-drawn chariot and a helmet and shield. At the Institute of Archaeology in Delhi, the Sinauli excavation director explained why this is so important. In fact, an artist himself, Dr. Manjul, has even done a sketch based on what he found in Sinauli.
If you see, the size of the chariot is very, very important first. Second part, the pole and yoke of the chariot is also very, very important. If you see the size is smaller like a war chariot. Driven by one man or two, maximum two. And then pole is longer and having the thinner than the cart, and the yoke is very smaller. That indicates that it's possibly the horse chariot. Third one is the whip. We got the whip also with the chariot. That whip is like having the leather portion of leather strip. That type of whip is only used for the horse chariot. Helmet, it's possibly the oldest helmet of the world.
The area around Sinauli has been rich in archaeological sites. About 25 kilometers from the Ganga and 7.5 kilometers from the Yamuna, this region in the upper Ganga Yamuna Doab was an important theatre of activity 4,000 years ago. Manjul believes that the people in Sinauli were contemporaries of the Harappans, but they had their own strong identity.
This time we have done excavation in last year also, and we got in trial dig around 10 by 10 meter area. We got 8 burials of elite class. First, having the coffin and chariots and other things. In this time also we got 2 coffin burial, highly decorated coffin burial along with the burial goods like a copper mirror, antenna swords, etc. etc. And the other important thing, we also excavated the habitational site. Habitational site, we got 3 continuous superimposition of the floor level, and also the kiln and furnaces. In my opinion, in Indian context, we have the finest weapon of the world. Finest weapon of the world in contemporary period. If you see the copper hoard culture having the different type of weapons, not only the advanced antenna sword in different size and shapes, but the ring and the anthropomorphic figure and dagger, and also you can see the shield in almost 8 shape, or you can see the torso shape shield. That's a popular in Egyptian and other culture also, that particular shapes. The technology of how we have identified the shield. First, we have identified with the CT scan. We have a CT scan the whole chunk of the remains, and then we got the impression of wood in the below, and the top of the shield having the copper designing etc. in the top, and also some socket for the handle of the shield. So that shows the very, very advanced level of shield also.
The people of Sinauli have been identified as part of the larger OCP culture. OCP or ochre colored pottery was used by people around 2000 BCE along the Indo-Gangetic plain extending from eastern Punjab to northeastern Rajasthan and western Uttar Pradesh. In archaeological terms, this culture in the region was followed by the painted graveware culture that marked the coming of the Iron Age in the western Gangetic plain and the Ghaggar Hakra valley, lasting from roughly 1200 to 600 BCE. This painted graveware culture was famously linked to the Middle Vedic period by archaeologist B.B. Lal in the 1950s after he did an extensive study of sites like Hastinapur, Mathura, Ahichatra, Barnava and Kurukshetra. All of these were mentioned in the epic Mahabharata. Based on this study and other research, the dates of when the battle that inspired the epic Mahabharata ensued remained a matter of debate, ranging from 1200 to 900 BCE. Dr. Manjul believes that the finds in Sinauli forces a rethink of these dates and assumptions.
Relating with the Mahabharata, particularly in the Sinauli and the surrounding area, it's a really eye-opening because the earlier discussion with the material culture and the Mahabharata, the several hypotheses given by several scholars, particularly with the name Professor B.B. Lal, relating Mahabharata with the painted graveware culture. The basis of that, that particular the villages mentioned in the Mahabharata and the Hastinapur having the earliest culture is painted graveware. But in Hastinapur also the OCP layer is there in the beneath the painted graveware culture, and that particular area almost every site if you go to the Kurukshetra or in the Bagpat and other area which is mentioned in Mahabharata having OCP culture either in the same mound or nearby. So, the time gap of the PGW and OCP culture almost 700 or 800 years almost. So, pushing back to the Mahabharata culture with the OCP, creating lot of new ideas to see the particularly relating with the material culture. If you see the nutshell in the Mahabharata having a story of warriors, the warfare, having the chariots, having the weapons. We have to understand the core of the story. The PGW culture, we don't have the urban nature of settlement anywhere of the PGW culture. The huts and the very little of weapons, only arrowheads and some of the iron object, but that is not a weapons in fact. It's a hunter-gatherer kind of culture is there in the PGW particularly, because we have done the excavation in Barnaba and in the Rajasthan also the some of the PGW site. The whole PGW site settlement having the rural settlement, that's not a urban nature of the settlement.
What Dr. Manjul is saying is that based on the excavations in Sinauli and the area around the Upper Ganga Yamuna Doab, there is clear evidence of weaponry and warriors indicating that this may have been the period of the Great War. The fact that there are no weapons that have been found along the painted graveware culture iterates this.
Coming to the actual situation of the fields, Sinauli, the roads are beautiful. You have beautiful sceneries. Sinauli is in UP, and current travel distance between Delhi to Sinauli is around 2 hours. Though the archaeological fields are ASI declared, it has been given back to the farmers, and farmers are growing various crops. So you don't see anything now, no trenches, no archaeological digs, everything has been covered. This is how the archaeological fields looks now, and this is the local farmer who was kind enough to explain me the details of all the digs, showed me around all the places where the chariots and the burials were found. So this is the excavation site of Sinauli. So this is the field where the chariots of Sinauli were found. It was found in this location below the exactly at this location. यहाँ पे Yeah. This is the location where the copper chariots were found. And today Sinauli is basically a rural agricultural village. And this is the location where ancient graves were found and a lot of artifacts were also discovered in this area. The farmer also took me to his home and showed me the bricks which he discovered or he found in Sanauli. So basically, the right side, what you see is a Sanauli brick, and the left side is a modern brick. So, how do you identify which is Sanauli brick? The one tapering is a Sanauli brick. Thank you for watching this video and see you soon in the next vlog.